While most would like to call him Ngwenya, which possibly points to his alertness, his discernment of diverse situations, he remains as soft and as tender as an African mother's love. Distinguished delegates and colleagues, time is a finite resource. Help me, colleagues, delegates, comrades, to resoundingly invite His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe and the First Secretary of the ruling Zanu-PF party, Comrade Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, to deliver his keynote address. I thank you and God bless.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Taka wapiwana. Baba wedwa, oh. Oh, Baba wedwa, oh. I say, oh, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. Zimbabwe yedui. Yedui yo. Oh yeah yeah yeah. Yeah yeah yeah. Yeah yeah yeah. Takaipiwa naise.
Zanu-PF. Zanu-PF. Kubatana. Kubatana. Viva Zanu-PF. Viva Zanu-PF. Amanda. Amanda! A luta continua! A luta continua! Zanu-PF! 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 Kubatana! Thank you. The First Lady, Comrade Comrade Mai Auxilia Mnangagwa. Members of the Politburo, members of the Central Committee, members of the National Consultative Assembly, war veterans, detainees, ex-restrictees, and all collaborators, traditional leaders, ministers and deputy ministers here present, service chiefs led by General Constantine Chiwenga, senior government officials, representatives of sister liberation movements here present, members of the diplomatic corps, representatives of business, students, women and youth organizations present, Congress delegates, invited guests, the media, leaders of various religious organizations who are here, ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends. I am humbled and indeed honored to greet you and welcome you all to this extraordinary Congress of our party, the Zimbabwe African National Union Patriotic Front. In welcoming you all, I recognize in a very special way those comrades representing sister liberation movements with whom we shared the trenches in our struggles for national independence. Furthermore, I also recognize delegates representing other political parties from the region and beyond, with whom we enjoy warm fraternal relations. You are most welcome, and rest assured that you are among comrades, ideological soulmates, brothers and sisters who warmly embrace you in your individual capacity and as emissaries of your parties and governments. This convocation is thus ours together. Dear comrades and delegates, we meet today in this extraordinary session of Congress of the party, which brings together leadership from the district level to the Central Committee. First and foremost, we must all recognize that we convene here primarily as members of the party, bound by the duties and obligations of all party members outlined in Article 3, Section 21, subsection 1 to 6 of our party constitution, which states the following, and I quote: duties of members. Every member of the party shall have the duty to, 1, be loyal. I'll repeat. Every member of the party shall have the duty, 1, to be loyal, to observe and abide by the principles, policies, rules and regulations of the party. 3, to strive continuously to raise the level of his or her own political and social consciousness and understanding of the party policies. 4, to strengthen, promote and defend the party and popularize policies among the people. 5, to conduct himself, herself, honestly and honorably in his or her dealings with the party and the public, and not to bring the party into disrepute or ridicule, and 6, to pay regular subscriptions. Unquote. To this end, the spirit and letter of this constitutional provision must guide not only today as we deliberate on the agenda of this extraordinary Congress, but all our party interactions at every level. Comrades, Today, I address you as a newly draped President and First Secretary of Zanu-PF, subject, of course, to the ratification by this august gathering of the extraordinary session of the Central Committee held on 19th November 2017, which appointed me the helm of our party. I feel the full weight of this new role, which is made lighter, however, by the wealth of experience and systems synthesized into clear rules, procedures, and traditions we have built together as a party over the years. I heartily pay tribute. I've served in different leadership positions at various stages of our revolution, pre- and post-independence. Join me as I salute luminaries of our great nation, the late Herbert Tepo, Lepo Tafumanei Takawira, Josiah Magamatongogara, Jason Ziapa Pamoyo, Nikita Alfred Mangena, Simon Wengesai Mzenda, and the father of Zimbabwe, Joshua Nkabuko Nkomo. I equally pay homage to my predecessor and immediate past president of our party, Comrade Robert Gabriel Mugabe, who steered the ship of our party and its government until I assumed the reins a few weeks ago. Today, the burden to carry on the forebearers left remains real, and responsibilities to discharge it is ours collectively together as a united party, Zanu-PF, subject to the constitutional procedures of this extraordinary as affirmation. I'm humbled by the faith you have shown in me, and I pledge to live up to your expectations. Zanu-PF is a great party. So too is its history and tradition, as it entered into a covenant with the people of Zimbabwe, one underwritten with sacred blood of heroes, some of whom died while others live, with containing bodily marks and visible injuries of trauma from a protracted war of liberty. This fact of Zanu-PF's special status, Party of National Liberation, makes it a national heritage and a carrier of a national legacy, and above all, a definer of our country's future. Thus, Zanu-PF, as the governing party, makes and requires it to be a national home for all our people, all our citizens. This country is our home. This is what Zanu-PF says to every citizen. It must also be an instrument available for a national purpose and a destiny. Zanu-PF can therefore not exclude, divide or fragment, nor be allowed to sag or succumb for lack of foresighted leadership. To this end, our party must be an instrument for the realization of the collective dreams of and its people. It must take bold positions on matters of national interest, importance and conscience. That is our duty and responsibility as a party of national liberation which wields power responsibly and which runs of our great nation with responsibility. Dear delegates, democracy, equality and the rule and respect of the law and the Constitution runs through the very blood and genetic makeup of our party, predating independence. In this regard, we must always encourage and instill intra-party democracy at all levels. Party structures from the cell, village levels, right up to the Central Committee must be platforms in which the membership discusses freely, without fear or favor, matters of concern. Matters concerning the party as well as developmental issues which affect our communities and the nation at large. Equally, elections at all levels of the party must be undertaken as guided by the rules and regulations of the party, free from chicanery, free from manipulation, and free from favoritism. In the same vein, democracy bids that as a political party, it must always compete for office through pitting itself against opposition parties in elections which must be credible, free, fair, and transparent. Our party constitution in Article 2, Section 9, indeed obligates the party, and I quote, 8 conditions for the establishment of a democratic, political, and social order which guarantees in perpetuity that the government of the state shall be answerable to the people through periodic, free and fair elections based on universal suffrage and of court. This we will continue to do as we have since independence, and I have already announced that the 2018 harmonized general elections held as scheduled. In planning and conducting these elections, our position as the ruling party is that we carry the nation we liberated, securing all who live within its borders, upholding the national constitution, laws and values, as well as defending and safeguarding our country's sovereignty. Above all, we must have peace over our land, towards whose nurturing and preservation we must spare no effort. We who are called upon to lead Zanu-PF, and because of that privilege, our nation must remember this at all times, that we are servants of the people. We must vow to observe the rule of law, to live and to govern in accordance with its tenets, with the tenets of our struggle. For failure to do so will undoubtedly result in damnation from the party, whatever our rank or level. Comrade delegates, the party constitution in Article 5, Section 26 provides that an extraordinary Congress may be convened as guided by the subsections thereunder. Over and above meeting the party's constitutional requirements, this extraordinary Congress convenes against a a backdrop of events and developments of the past few weeks, which have become known as Operation Restore Legacy. These events were both dramatic and epochal for our party and our nation. Millions of Zimbabweans, young and old, urban and rural, wide-eyed, children and battle-hardened war veterans came together to make themselves heard and to call for a shift in the direction of this country. As a result of that, a prosperous future for our people is in the making. I would like to salute the commander of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, General Dr. Constantino Nikadzino Gouveia Chiwenga, and all the members of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces for standing shoulder to shoulder with their fellow Zimbabweans and for putting the peace and stability of Zimbabwe first. I would also like to extend my deepest appreciation to the war veterans who stood strong in the face of threats and at times personal persecution as they fought for our glorious nation and its heritage. I equally commend the party's provincial leadership throughout the country and the Central Committee, as well as the party members of Parliament who were decisive in their resolve to bring to completion the fulfillment of the desires of the people of the Republic of Zimbabwe, which lived within the confines of our party Zanu-PF and the national constitution respectively, and in my ending exile. Through the actions of all involved, our constitutional and democratic order was respected and upheld. Humanity glowed and shone, thereby ensuring that no single life was lost. As a direct result of your action and cooperation, it's the voice of the people, the voice of the nation, all its various institutions, which was decisive and which convinced and astonished the world that what was at issue was a national question, and that the question would be resolved internally with help. We showed remarkable capacity of resolving conflict in an amicable way and of speedily resetting society back to normalcy on terms and in our own way. Indeed, the people of Zimbabwe demonstrated they are united by its flag, its national anthem, its history, and its future. This should be a matter of pride for our party and for all Zimbabweans. The voice of the people is the voice of God. Operation Restore Legacy was about our nation, its past, its present, and most of all, its future, which had indeed become threatened by the cabal of G40. It was about securing a future for our current and future generations. Furthermore, It was about rescuing, restoring, and reasserting the founding ideals, the founding values, founding principles and traditions of our national liberation struggle as espoused by our party Zanu-PF throughout our armed struggle. The traditions and values that we held and still hold so dear stood imperiled by a cabal of counter-revolutionaries, upstarts, who, willful-like, and over time had burrowed into the pith of our party and its structures, in the process compromising its leadership. It had destabilized the party, causing absolute divisions and disquiet in the nation, which sat on edge. The party ideology, rules and protocols were being desecrated daily, or simply being brushed aside at will. Party structures were overrun, while elected office bearers were summarily suspended, dismissed at the speeds of caprice and vaunting ambition. Corrupt activities and corrupt individuals were daily sanitized, while millions were being stolen and stashed outside the country. The economy bled from repeated rampant smuggling. The country was violated with impunity. Disaffection was building, especially from among the youths who were seeing their hopes of a bright future slipping away. Veterans who had sacrificed for the liberation of this country were not just being reviled, they were being abused and incarcerated on flimsy pretexts. Party events were manipulatively re-engineered to contrive a show of popularity and unanimity. Party mobilization was reduced to coercion. Interface rallies. We all believed it was an exercise for the mobilization of the party. No, it wasn't. It was an agenda. It was an agenda. The 9th interface ended with me being required or like a snake which must be crushed by the head, by persons with very little history in the liberation of this country. These party rallies became expensively choreographed pseudo-events dominated by a roving core group which used different venues in order to create a misleading illusion of populism which belied the bitter discontent which simmered beneath, threatened to boil over. This is what I now remember in 2015 in Masingo province when they said, "Kumagumo kunenyaya." Indeed, kumagumo kunenyaya. Clearly, this was no longer Zanu-PF I had our membership and loyalty to. Thus, we all watched in dismay as the party that won this nation's independence and achieved so much development, having its founding values supplanted. The Zanu-PF I believe in is a progressive, forward-thinking party that exists to serve the Zimbabwean people. It is a party that has a proud history and a bold vision for the future. It is a party that offers hope and opportunities and the youths, as well as the marginalized, disadvantaged persons among us. Zanu-PF is without doubt a party that represents each and every Zimbabwean, irrespective of tribe, race, age, social standing, or economic class. Let us draw lessons from all that has happened. We must vehemently defend to the hilt the party's culture and traditions. Revolutions do get infiltrated, corrupted, and once corrupted, they degenerate and they lose direction. We must never lower our guard again, and they must arrest any negative tendencies that creep into the party before they take hold, corrupt, and alienate us. The responsibility to defend and protect our party's constitution and the ideals of our revolution, its history and legacy, falls squarely on each and every cadre of the party. Let us remain genuine cadres and not detain careerists who, legion-like, fasten on party structures, personages, all for self-gain and self-enrichment. Comrade delegates, moving into the future, I exhort us all to be disciplined, and in many ways reinvent our politics in ways that harken back to wartime templates and practices which won us the trust and the confidence of our people, which won us a war in 1980 and helped us repeatedly win elections since then, and renewing our mandate and the covenant with the people of Zimbabwe again and again, and this must continue again and again. We must now, all of us, return to source in order to repair the party and regain the trust of the people who have for long been poisoned by misdeeds and excesses of the counter-revolutionaries who had infiltrated our party rank and file. In this regard, war have a big role to play. They are not expendable. Their value far exceeds the numerical value of their vote. We should give them a pride of place, appreciating the sacrifices they made in the past, valuing their current role in socializing the youth on the party norms and ethos as we chart a course for the future, well embedded in the stem foundations of our past. I thus urge the party to manage intergenerational transitions so the spirit of the struggle is retained and passed on as a living tissue. We must therefore strive to offer a positive, progressive vision for the future which tallies with the hopes and dreams of. In this regard, we should not be a party of the past. We must also be a party for the future, a party for prosperity and a party for posterity. Let us all be alive to the fact that successful parties constantly renew themselves, speaking to women, speaking to the youths and the disadvantaged. Equally, it is essential to constantly engage with all stakeholders across the social, economic, and political spectrum, and indeed across borders, to make ourselves responsive and relevant. Comrades, There is therefore urgent need for training interventions to realign, refocus, and recalibrate our membership at all levels countrywide to align with this new impetus. Party work must not be in the old mold of looking at Zanu-PF as being about politics, and the politics only. Now we must be about politics and economics. After all, the best politics emerge from the marketplace where livelihoods are made. I am confident that the reconstructed Department of Commissariat, together with departments we will be up to task in this new era of our party. Comrade delegates, I urge the party to introspect and self-adjust in conformity with the principles and genesis of Zanu-PF. In this regard, Article 2 of our party's constitution outlines the aims and objectives of our party as inter alia being to oppose resolutely tribalism, regionalism, nepotism, corruption, racism, religious fanaticism, xenophobia, and related intolerance, discrimination, grounds of sex, and all forms of exploitation of men by men in Zimbabwe. In line with this instruction, therefore, my ascendance to the helm of the party never be interpreted as a defeat of one faction and installation of another. My presence should not be perceived as a rise in the fortunes of a region or a tribe or a totem. No. My presence is about a united Zanu-PF, a national party with a national outlook. I stand before you, therefore, as the president of a united, non-racial Zimbabwe, itself home to many tongues, dialects, cultures, colors, age groups. I am a president of women and men, the young and the old, the able-bodied and the physically challenged, the rich and the poor, the well and the sick. I am an emissary of all the veterans and the heroes. I am an emissary of all the veterans and the heroes, dead or alive, who through their blood caged the cause and the mission which my presidency must promote, must actualize and advance. I am a president of all the Shonas, the Ndebeles, the Zazulus, the Ndaus, the Karangas, the Manyikas, the Vendas, the Chewas, Sutus, the Tongas, the Tsanas, Kosas, Kosans, Shangani, Kalanga, Nambians, and other races, all who are celebrated in our national constitution. The role you have given me and the office you have inserted can never be partitioned to anyone. The praise song I desire, if you were to sing one, is that of our national anthem and those from the liberation struggle, not singing myself, no. If you sing those, the national anthem of our country, if you sing revolutionary songs, then me and you are together. Me and you become content, and I'll be overjoyed. As the leadership of the party gathered in this extraordinary session of Congress, let us commit to unite the party membership. We must be unwavering, consistent, and persistent. I urge us all to unflinchingly toe the party line as guided by our party constitution. In discipline, corruption, desecration of the values Ubuntu Unu must never, never again find a place in our party. Ndiro gwara la msangano, ndiro gwara Zanu-PF, ratinofana kutevera. This Congress must define a new trajectory for our party and our country. Let us reassert discipline, order and harmony in the party and put behind us victimization and witch hunting of the past. We must thus embrace each other, forging better relations with other peoples and other nations. We must thus take pride in our abilities and resources, guarding ourselves from being opinionated to the extent of not knowing that we need and benefit from mutually beneficial partnerships with the rest of the world. The speech I made upon my return from exile on 21 November 2017 at Zanu-PF headquarters, my inauguration speech on 24 November 2017, and the recent 2018 National Budget Statement gave the world a peep into the new era we seek to build. We mean well. We stand as a nation of this world for its promise. We are committed to repair broken relations, desiring to rebuild our economy so it gives jobs to our people, especially the youths, and improves the living standards of all our people. In all this, the party must lead and ensure that government is properly briefed and guided as we assert the supremacy of the party over government. Distinguished delegates, before me is the Central Committee report, which records our activities since our last Congress. This is in fulfillment of the requirement of our party constitution, which obligates the Central Committee to report to Congress, on behalf of which it makes decisions in between sittings. It is an expansive report and covers activities since 2014, when Congress was last convened. Reports of all departments are captured for your attention. I wish, as I table this Central Committee report, I wish to draw the attention of this extraordinary Congress to 42, where it deals with the war veterans affairs, and then page 145 on political developments and recommendations, and then changes in the leadership of the party from page 148 to 149. Then it also captures the dismissal of Vice President Emerson Mnangagwa on the 6th of November when he was fired from the party. It also captured the statement by Commander Defense Forces of the 13th November 2017. Commander Defense Forces CDF General Constantine Chiwenga issued a press statement on Monday, 13th November. The statement is reproduced. On page 53, we reproduce statement by Zimbabwe Defense Forces spokesperson on the 14th of November 2017, which was made by Army Chief of Staff Major General Sibusiso B. Moyo. Then the Solidarity March with the war veterans held on 18th November 2017 also captured. On page 156, special session of the Central Committee held on the 19th November 2017 and the resolutions which arose from that Central Committee meeting. Then on page 159, it captures the Zanu-PF Parliamentary Caucus to impeach Comrade Robert Gabe Mugabe by Then also, lastly but not least, on page 160, commencement of the impeachment proceedings on 21st November 2017, and the President resigns and the impeachment proceedings are aborted on 21st November 2017. All that is captured. Inauguration of Comrade Emerson Mnangagwa as the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe on 24th November is also captured. I now have the honor and privilege to table this Central Committee report, which I commend to Central Committee and to the Extraordinary Congress delegates for you to carry home and inform our members of the party in our respective provinces and districts. I so table. I thank you.